Hey guys, sorry for the really bad lighting. We just took out like this big light in my room. It's like my main light. And I'm in a quarter right now, so that's why all of it's like can't see anything. But I'm gonna be reading page 16 to 24. Really sorry I didn't do it yesterday. I was in the middle of it, and then I had to go eat dinner, and then I don't know what I was doing, homework, stuff like that. So now I'm gonna read a couple more like chapter stuff tonight. So yeah, okay. Page 16. I'll go back a little. Sebastian was blind, and now that he was growing old, he was very nearly deaf as well. But he had the keenest sense of smell of the dog in town. Everyone called him Sebastian, the seeing nose dog, and he always knew when visitors were about to enter the shop. Fire drill, called Grandpa Wayne from down below, which was their code for when a customer had arrived. Guess the compass will have to wait, grumbled Grandpa Larry. Now get down. Smoke rises, so the best way to keep breathing is to stay low to the ground. He and Cass crouched down and pulled their shirts over their noses as if the room were filling with smoke. Larry pointed to the station's old brass fire pole. Ladies first. Cass eagerly grabbed the pole and stepped out into the opening in the floor. Wait, said Larry. Promise not to tell your mother? Promise, said Cass, already starting to slide. Despite the fact that it was their job, Cass's grandfathers couldn't bear to sell anything. They loved all their things too much. As a result, their store was crammed so tight it was like a huge maze with walls of furniture. Every surface was covered with the stuff they collected. From old cloud paintings to mechanical monkeys to broken typewriters to things you couldn't describe if you tried. By the time Larry and Cass had navigated their way through, the front door was opening to reveal a short pair of legs staggering under the weight of an enormous cardboard box. As soon as he saw the box, Larry rushed to the doorway and threw his arms across it, barring the way. No, 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 bad Gloria, he said sternly, as if he were addressing a dog and not a person under a box. I told you last time, no more things. Look around, we're stuffed to the gills. At least let me pull this down for a minute, complained the voice of an unseen woman. Taking pity on her, Larry grabbed hold of the box and placed it on the threshold. A small, round woman in a bright yellow suit scowled at him. This was Gloria Fortune. Don't you even want to hear where it comes from? She asked, still red-faced and breathing hard under her tall beehive hairdo. Such fascinating things. Well, never mind, she said brightly. Is there a dumpster in the back? Larry almost choked. No, yes, there's a dumpster, but you're not. You wouldn't throw the box away, he asked, as if Gloria were threatening murder. Gloria smiled slyly as she twisted a curl of hair that had sprung loose. Sorry, Larry. You're my last resort. I certainly don't have any room. Larry hesitated. In that case, why don't you come inside for a cup of tea, and I'll just take a peek, before you do anything rash. Gloria grinned victoriously. You won't regret it, she said, entering the door. Sheepishly, Larry picked up the box and followed her back inside. Sorry, he whispered to Cass. This should only take a second, a minute, 5, 10, 20 minutes at the most. Gloria, as Cass leaned over her third, or was it her fourth cup of tea, was a real estate agent, a probate specialist, meaning that she sold houses after their owners passed away. She was, in effect, a real estate agent for the dead. Gloria loved to gossip, and Gloria was always ready to listen to what ghoulish tales about her dead clients. Wayne, who was retired auto mechanic, always loved to go fix something when Gloria was around. As for the box of stuff she had brought, it came from the home of a strange and reclusive man, some kind of magician or something. What I call a real old coot, said Gloria. Watch it, Gloria, said Grandpa Larry. Some of us are pretty cootish ourselves. The magician, Gloria continued obliviously, had died very suddenly several months earlier in a kitchen fire, the source of which was never determined. He had no known relations or survivors. Not a single friend left, poor man. Because the magician's house was so off the beaten path, his death might never have been discovered had not his gardener investigated the terrible smell emanating from the kitchen. Cass nodded knowingly at this bit of information. The smell of decomposing flesh can be very strong, she said, trying to show she was familiar with the case of this kind. although I hasten to point out her knowledge of courses was not yet first-hand. True, sniffed Gloria, but actually what the gardener was smelling was something else. Sulphurous, he described, like huevos podridos. That means rotten eggs in Spanish, said Cass, who was studying the language at school. I thought it meant talky girls, said Gloria pointedly. Cass considered it was not wise to say anything more, and she excused herself to do some homework, pretending she was no longer interested in the story of the dead magician. But she continued to listen, or as you might call it, eavesdrop, while Gloria finished telling her story. In fact, almost nothing of the magician's body was left, smelly or otherwise. The fire had been so intense that only a few of his teeth remained. See, I warned you about teeth. Curiously, while the magician's entire kitchen was incinerated, the rest of the house was left unscathed, as if the fire had gone out as quickly as it had started. According to Gloria, the source of the noxious aroma was never found, and the traces of it still lingered. She hoped it wouldn't hamper the sale of the house, which was going to be difficult enough thanks to the house's quirky and offbeat character. Gloria pronounced these words as if they were slightly distasteful, but Cass, not knowing precisely what they meant, thought they sounded just grand. She decided if she ever bought a house, she would want to buy one just like the magician's. After Gloria left, Wayne rejoined the others to rifle through the magician's belongings. Mostly, the contents of the box were disappointing. What Gloria had described as a contraption for mixing potions turned out just to be an ordinary kitchen mixer. And what she had guessed was something to make objects disappear was in fact a piece of exercise equipment. They thought they'd extracted everything they could when Sebastian started barking excitedly. The blind dog circled the box, sniffing it like there was something inside he really wanted, or something inside he was really scared of, or both. Cass pushed aside the last remaining bits of the newspaper at the bottom and saw something they'd missed earlier. Another box. Sebastian's barks grew louder as she pulled it out. The box was flat, about the size and shape of a briefcase, and fitted with brass hinges and fastenings. It was made of darkish, reddish, stripy type of wood, and it was carved with a design of swirling vines and flowers surrounding an uplifted face. The face was shown in profile, inhaling what looked like curling smoke. Rosewood, Wayne said, in taking the box from Cass so that he could examine it more closely. Too large for cigar butts. Maybe a cutlery case? Larry nodded. Probably. Art Nouveau design, about 100 years old. French? Footnote. Art Nouveau means new art in French, but as you can see from the box, it's actually a very old style. If you ever go to Paris, and I hope you do, you will notice that some of the metro entrances are made to look like vines growing out of the sidewalk. An Art Nouveau jungle. I don't know how to pronounce that, so sorry. He took the box from Wynne and held it up to look at the bottom. No markings. Looks like one of a kind. Can I open it? Cass asked. She knew from experience they could go on for hours if she didn't stop them. Wayne nudged Larry, and Larry handed her the box. Go ahead, he said, although no doubt he would have liked to open it himself. With the substitute grandfather peering over each shoulder, Cass carefully sprang the latch and raised the lid. From their gasps, Cass could tell they'd never seen anything like it. She certainly hadn't. The interior of the box was upholstered in lustrous purple velvet. Nestled in velvet and arranged in 4 concentric semicircles were dozens of sparkling crystal vials. Most of these vials, Cass later counted 99 of them, contained liquids in a variety of colors: lavender water, amber oil, alcohol in an alarming shade of green. Other vials were filled with powders of various degrees of fineness, others with flower petals, leaves, herbs, and spices, jars of wood and bark, even dirt. One vial held a single strand of hair. What is this, some chemistry set? Cass wondered aloud. Could be, said Larry. Did you know that in England pharmacists are called chemists? Touching the velvet for the first time, Cass noticed something that had been hidden by a fold. A small brass plaque on which someone had engraved the words, "The Symphony of Smells." The Symphony of Smells? Maybe it's a perfume-making kit, suggested Wayne. Cass pulled out a vial and opened it. A sharp citrus aroma was released into the air. Lemon, she guessed. She handed the vial to Wayne and pulled out another. They spent the next few minutes opening vials and guessing the scents they contained. Mint, lime, root beer, sassafras, Larry called it. Wet wool, old socks, I don't know why I said sauce. Old socks, freshly mown grass. Mown grass. I think it's kind of smelling games, Cass said, who was enjoying herself immensely. Just train your nose, like if you were a detective, so you would know what you were smelling in an emergency or at the scene of crime. Whatever it is, my nose is getting very tired, said Larry. Just one more, said Cass, picking up a vial from the end of the second row. There was a hairline crack in the vial, and it was nearly empty, save for a light dusting of yellow powder. She opened it and recognized the smell immediately. It was the smell of huevos podridos, rotten eggs. That's where I'm going to stop. Page 24, and chapter 3 is called, And Now Introducing Max Ernest. So yeah, I'll probably do another tonight, but maybe not for a couple half hours, like an hour or two. So yeah, thanks for watching. Bye!